I'm David.
And I'm Justine.
We're two athletes living with MS.
And this podcast is about the real stories of coming back to sport.
Or starting fresh after illness, injury, or a diagnosis with long-term challenges.
It's about learning how to return on your own terms. This is Adaptive Limits.
What's up, bro?
Hey, bro. What's up?
I'm super stoked today because we actually have our first guest on Adaptive Limits, and I'm super excited to share. Paulina, welcome to the Adaptive Limits podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, fun fact, Justine, I got connected with Paulina on the gram before you and I had even had the idea to start this podcast. I saw a like happen about one of my MS posts. And when I saw Paulina's profile, she was wearing bike gear. And that's usually how I connect with folks. You're in bike gear. All right, I'm connecting and we're going to be friends. Next thing you know, I learned that Paulina also had MS, also cycled. And so I'm just super excited to have her on here. What's your backstory with Paulina? Had you met her before this podcast?
No, I hadn't. I think we just started following each other. Is that right, Paulina? Yeah. So you popped up and I was like, who's this? I was like, David knows her. Cool. And then I was checking out your Instagram and was like, this is cool. Lots of cycling. Very cool to see all the pictures, beautiful stuff. And I'm really excited to hear about your story and your journey and your cycling as well.
Thank you for having me. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Paulina, why don't you start off with your MS story? It sounds like you were recently diagnosed, so I'd love to hear how that came about. What were your first symptoms? How long did it take you to get diagnosed? Just tell us your story.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I was diagnosed relatively recently about August 2025. So
Wow.
That's 9-10 months ago. And what it was, I had a relapse that essentially made me end up in hospital. So I woke up, I was fine, and I was about to go to work. I work in London, so I'm based in England, by the way. And I was about to go to work, and then I started having all these weird symptoms, and my husband thought I'm having a stroke. So we called the ambulance. Yeah.
Wow.
He called the ambulance because I just suddenly like my body just decided that it's too heavy to get up. And then I was in hospital for a week. I had MRI scan. And then after about almost 2 months, so I waited for about 2 months for the diagnosis. But at the time, I kind of knew what it was already. I just needed them to confirm. And they confirmed in mid-August, the neurologist said, yes, that is definitely MS, relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. And I was kind of relieved in a way.
You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever met somebody who said they weren't. Most people, I think in your heart of hearts, kind of know that you have it. I remember just everything I read, I could tell I had it, but people were telling me I didn't. And so when you finally get that diagnosis, it's almost validation. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I knew this all along, and what I was feeling was true. I would imagine that sense of relief was huge.
So you said that you knew what it was. Were you familiar with MS? Because I didn't know very much. Like, I had heard the word, but I was, well, what's this thing? But so had you heard of it, or why did you think it was that?
So I had throughout a few years, I had various weird things happening to me. In, I think, 2018, I woke up also to go to work. And then I went to the bathroom, and then I stood up from the toilet, and I was like, ooh, I see funny, like double, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, I told my husband as well. said, Greg, I can't walk straight, can't see where the floor is. And again, he had to, bless him, so it happened twice. He had to call the ambulance as well. And the ambulance confirmed one of my eyes, I say that one of my eyes went for a walk, because you suddenly could see that I'm kind of cross-eyed.
Yeah.
The sort of like I think my left eye was just literally, pointing.
That
I was like,
happened
I
to
can't.
me.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
When I had the accident and the TBI that
Oh,
happened,
yeah.
it was just way over here, and it took a really long time to get back to normal. Yeah, the double
Oh.
vision, it must be. What, did it correct itself? Do you have double vision still?
No, and that was the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. It corrected itself within a few hours. I went in an ambulance, but this not sort of big ambulance like you have a truck, I think. I don't know how you call it in the US.
Yeah.
But it was just a normal car. It was a car,
Yeah.
and he put the signal on, so I was like, oh, cool, am I in an ambulance? Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Rock
cool.
star, right?
Yeah, rock star in an ambulance, wheeled in a wheelchair, But then after a few hours, they did a CT scan, another CT scan, and then they did notice something, I think, on the CT scan then. And then I can't remember if I had an MRI back then as well. But within a few hours, my eyesight went back to normal, and I was just like, nothing happened.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just very
Wow.
bizarre.
So it was the second relapse, were they? Yeah.
So that was the first relapse. But then at the
Yeah.
time, they didn't tell me that this was MS.
Yeah.
I went to my GP, my doctor, at my local surgery, and then she at the time, I think, kind of posted a little question mark that maybe that's it. Because I also had kind of fast forward, I think 2 years, I had a dropped foot again out of nowhere. I stepped outside the house and I was like, oh, my foot feels funny. Like it's started flapping, and I don't know why. But then again, it resolved itself within a few weeks. Then right foot dropped, also resolved itself within a few weeks. I had another MRI scan, but again, I don't know why it just never got diagnosed until now. I had a spinal
So-
tap as well.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
I had a spinal tap. And Paulina, you've probably heard us talking about. We have actually have a bike MS team called Spinal Tap
Yes,
PDX.
very cool, right?
And
I feel so left out, you guys. I didn't have they didn't give me a spinal tap.
You don't want one.
You don't want one. And I actually remember them injecting the needle in my spine and then telling me that fluid hadn't come out, and so they had to do it again. And so and then on top of that, this was a neurologist that wasn't an MS specialist. And then when I went to an MS specialist, he looked at me and he goes, I have no idea why they had you do a spinal tap. I could have told you had MS by looking at your MRI for 2 minutes. And it's just so interesting that I think a lot of doctors and neurologists do it because it's part of the protocol. But I think it's come to the point where, is there really value in it? Do you even need to do it? But Paulina, so you get diagnosed and you get that sense of relief that you're not crazy and you haven't been imagining all this stuff. But outside of that, what were the emotions like? And I want to be very mindful with you because I remember what it was like to be diagnosed 9 months in, like you. And so this is all still really fresh for you. So if there's anything we talk about that you just don't feel ready to, just say, hey, bros, like, you know what? I'm not there. Let's move on. But what were the emotions like for you and for your husband?
Yeah. No, don't worry. That's absolutely fine. I'm quite open about it. So I'm happy to talk about it. Well, yes, relief. I said relief because, as you said, it just kind of confirmed what I was suspecting. Fear, definitely. As you both know, I'm a cyclist. I'm a very active cyclist. I love my cycling. It's just something that kind of I identify as a cyclist. Something that I started now 6 years ago. Now looking at 30th of March 2026. So yes, that was 6 years ago now when I started cycling during COVID lockdown. So it's all my life. And the first thing when I eventually got back to kind of consciousness after what happened when I got taken to hospital, and then after the diagnosis, I was like, oh my gosh, will I be able to race? because this is what I do. Like,
Yeah.
I cycle, but I race. I love my time trials. I had to actually, when I was in hospital, the first thing I did was contact the organizer of a race that I was supposed to do that Sunday. 3 days after I ended up in the hospital, I was so disappointed. I was like, I can't do that race, and that goes towards my competition. And I was like, I can't complete that competition. I was and I was very sad because also because of what happened, it took such a kind of strain on my body that I couldn't. If you asked me to walk in a straight line, I couldn't walk in a straight line for a few weeks. I was walking like I'm drunk, like something went really wrong, and I lost so much fitness as well. I mean, you guys both know power, right? You talked about it as well in your previous episodes. And I lost about 50 watts, and I was just so disappointed because I thought I was, I'm not the fastest in England. I'm not the fastest anywhere, but I was decent. I had decent results. And then suddenly I lost all that power, and I thought, no, like, what am I going to do now? I don't want
Will
another
I ever get it
sport,
back, right? Will I?
Yes.
Right.
So
thank you for sharing that. Your story resonates so much with me. I remember feeling, because I feel like the identity piece is so important. Like, you identified as a cyclist. And so the question of, can I still race? That was my first question. One of my first questions too was, can I still race? Maybe not the race this weekend, but can I do it? Yeah.
That's it.
So have you raced since?
No,
Not
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Good.
Because
Good attitude.
what is it? It's March, so the racing season starts up right about now.
Okay.
So my club, I belong to Chelmer Cycling Club. Oh, I can show you. Prepared. That's our jersey.
Oh, I love it. We gotta give them some. We're gonna have to tag them on the gram.
Yeah.
I love
it. So this is my club, like Chelmer. They have like a weekly time trial league, and I used to do it a lot as well every Tuesday. So this year I've decided I'm not going to do it, probably not for the next few months, because there's just no point. And as in, maybe you will know, Justine, what I mean is I would like to race, absolutely, but I know that if I raced like tomorrow, and I'll be so disappointed looking at the time that I've done, that I thought it would just discourage me. So I thought I'll wait till I maybe build up a bit more strength, and then if I see kind of more or less closer to what I was, then I will start. But at the moment, I think it would just be too early.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, give it some time and give your body time to come back. It will.
Yeah, but there is one race that I kind of put in my calendar. It's not until July, so I've got time.
Something that you're eyeing,
Yes, I'm eyeing, and it is and actually it's lovely because this is a race that my club is organizing. It is part of our local kind of county, so Essex County Championship.
Yeah.
And I'm not that I want to boast, but I won it twice, so I'm a double champ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry,
Paulina,
I love it.
I would love to have you back on here after your third win.
Oh no, I'm not. Thank you. Well, maybe in 2 years, but not this year. Not this year, but it's fine because I said I'm going to do it, even I have to walk the bike until the finish line. I don't care. I will do it. I'll put my racing suit on. I'll pin my number, and I'll finish even if I have to walk. I don't care.
Yeah.
But also because my club this year, which I'm very, very grateful for, they decided to any funds that they raise from the race, they will donate to MS Trust, which is one of the charities.
Wow.
I know. So I thought, I'll have to do it. I have to do it, even if I'm last.
That's great.
So I'll do it.
Paulina, you bring up a really good segue to asking about how your community reacted to your diagnosis. And I'd love to understand how it was with your club, knowing that you raced in a cycling club. How was navigating that? How did they react? What type of support did they give you, or did they not? I'd love to hear how that worked.
Sure. I've got good relationship. They're really good friends, a lot of them. Pretty much since I started cycling, all I do is cycle. So, uh,
Join the
and
club.
I know
yeah.
that. Yep.
I know
We
that
know that
feeling.
game.
Anyway, I have no
Yeah.
other hobbies. I just cycle. And they've been great. They've been absolutely great. Some visited me in hospital as well, and very supportive. I mean, I think if I just got diagnosed, I just went to a neurologist on just a random appointment and got diagnosed, that would have been different. But everyone noticed that I'm not cycling, I'm not there. Because
Sure.
A, I was in hospital. B, I had to tell my race organizers, sorry, I'm in hospital, so they knew something is up. And then I was off work for like 6 weeks after, and I wasn't cycling. So, and then when I finally got diagnosed, I told my kind of closest friends that I regularly cycle with, and they were absolutely supportive. They when I started kind of trying to cycle with them, because at the moment I'm a bit too slow to cycle with them, but they sort of helped me, and they adjusted their pace, and they, every time they found out about my diagnosis, they would reach out to me. It's like, oh, Paulina, if you ever want to go for a very easy, what we call here, coffee and cake ride or cafe
Yep.
ride, and there's
Absolutely.
plenty of cafes. So David, when you come to London, hopefully we'll be able to ride, and there's plenty of cafes. So they were lovely. I mean, they still ask, how I'm feeling and how they can help.
How did your family react? Like, we talked
Yeah.
about your friends and your club, but like, just curious about that. If you don't mind getting into that a little bit.
Yeah, no, not at
Yeah.
all. Well, my husband's very supportive as well, of course.
Yeah.
He was the first to obviously find out, because
Right.
he obviously, we've been together for almost 20 years as well, married for, will be 6 years this year.
Wow.
And he's been through with the double vision episode, because again, he was home and I was about to go to work. Then my drop foot as well, he saw, he heard me saying these weird things. And then, and of course, when I ended up in hospital last kind of late June, he also went with, well, he
Yeah.
didn't go with me, but he was there pretty much every day. And I don't know about hospitals in the US, but my local hospital, it's such a pain to get a parking space, and sometimes it's more stressful to get to the actual car park than going to an appointment. And there was one day where he, I think, tried 3 times to find a parking space to see me, and then something else happened, and his mum's car got scratched at the same time, and it was very stressful just for everyone, just kind of but no, but he's been great
Yeah.
so far as well. And my mum, for example, because so my parents are in Poland, but my mum, when she heard, I think she thought I might end up in a wheelchair. And this sort of, not misconception, but how do you say, I suppose the when people in Poland, at least perhaps, or maybe in me, even when I was younger, if I heard that someone had multiple sclerosis, I would imagine a person, either older person or person essentially in a wheelchair as well. And this was
Yeah.
kind of my biggest fear as well, my mum's fear.
I think that is a misconception that
Yeah.
everybody who has MS is always going to end up
Yeah.
in a chair, a wheelchair. We all have challenges, but you're
Yeah.
not necessarily everybody ends up that way.
And DMTs, therapies have come such a long way.
That's it.
Right.
I think the first one was in 93 or 96, and now
Mm.
there's, close to 25
Yeah.
of them, and they've come such a long way. But and I'm with you. I'm Portuguese American, so I'm first generation, and I know that was kind of the misconception we have too, right?
Mm.
Is that people associate multiple sclerosis with the visible
Yeah.
disease, and there's a
That's it.
really big invisible part to it. And I think what I have tried to wrap my brain around, a lot of people will say that MS is a snowflake disease because no two
Mm-hmm.
snowflakes are the same and
Yeah.
everybody is
Okay.
different. But I also like to take that one step further and say that everybody's diagnosis and everybody's, you know, everybody's, I'm just having a brain fog moment, but everybody's symptoms will be different as well. And so just because this person is in a wheelchair doesn't mean I'm going to be in a wheelchair. I might be one day, but it might not be tomorrow. It might be 10 years from now. And so that's why it's so important to take advantage of the days that you have right now. And the other thing too is we can't control just because someone has MS, we can't control what they eat. We can't control what they put in their bodies. We can't control whether they exercise. We can't control whether the stresses that they have. So it's really important for us to separate ourselves from everybody else living with MS and knowing that we're writing our own story and we don't know the outcome yet. And so
we are our own snowflake.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Paulina, does your husband cycle?
He does, not as much as me. So I think I was kind of obsessed when I started.
Join the club.
I started during the pandemic too, actually. Yeah. So, yeah.
I call myself a lockdown cyclist. I don't know, like lockdown cyclist.
Well, I love it.
It's interesting. And, you know, you've heard Justine and I talk a lot about the differences because she was an athlete who came back to sport where I was not an athlete and I was, how would you say it in England? I was at the pub drinking a Guinness. That's where you find me. But I found health and fitness after my diagnosis. So I just find it to be such an interesting contrast because your first fear is, will I be able to race again? Because it was your identity. And I think as somebody who wasn't an athlete before, it's become my identity now, which has been nice because it's not just MS as my identity. It's, yes, there's MS, but I cycle as well.
Paulina, speaking of identity, who you were as a cyclist before MS entered the picture. You were riding every day and you're involved with this club, but were you leading stuff in the club, or what is a club like in your part of the world? Tell us about it.
So Palmer Cycling Club, it's quite an old club. So we got founded over 75 years ago by Peter and Mary Horsnell. Mary sadly passed away, but Peter, I think he still cycles and he's 94, 95. I might be wrong. And he was racing up until like 2 years ago, perhaps, still doing time trials. I know. And he's like, you know, as you say, the OG, right? Or is it OG of Chelmer? And when I started, I was just, I just wanted to have someone to cycle with as well, because it was lockdown. I didn't enjoy sort of the gym sessions on Teams or Zoom. So I thought, well, why not get a bike? And I reached out to my ex-colleague, who's now my coach. Hi, Stuart. And
hi, Stuart.
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Stuart. I will make him listen this. And he recommended, he recommended a bike, and I bought my first road bike, and I went out, and then within like 2 months, I was wearing cleats. I was just so obsessed. I would cycle pretty much every day because obviously we were all working from home if we could, and then eventually he told me, just find yourself a local club, and then found Chelmer, and then I think I went on my first ride, I think in September 2020. I fell over. Of course, I fell over on my first ride in front of everyone. Of course. You know, that's what you do. Is just you fell over outside of everyone. But it was brilliant. And then since then, I was just cycling regularly. I found another club as well. Women. They had a women-only group, so that was lovely as well to cycle with girls. Yeah. So I had kind of two different kind of clubs to cycle with, and then it all evolved to the point that I got sort of roped into to be on the committee of the club.
Okay.
And then I was yes, essentially yes. And I was a secretary for FIG for a year. So I was attending committee meetings and kind of suggesting ideas. I don't think I was very good, but then I was leading rides as well. Eventually, after a while, I think I was quite bossy as well. I'm a bossy leader. And it was quite funny. Yeah, that was good. But it's funny because majority of my cycling friends are male, and they all kind of, let's just say, a bit older than me. Much older, but that's fine. They're lovely. They're all lovely, and they take care of me as well. And it's trying to make them listen to me is like herding cats. They like, no, we're not going to go left. I know a better way. And I was just like, just follow me where you don't follow me.
I know exactly what you mean. When I first started cycling, I joined a Portland-based cycling club, and on the first ride I went, I think I was, and I'm no spring chicken. I'm gonna be 49 this year, and I think I was the youngest person by like 20 or 30 years. And I remember if you were riding and you weren't pointing the glass on the floor or a pothole coming up, they'd start yelling at you. And it's like my brain doesn't work that fast. So I know the feeling.
Well, so is it it's road mostly? Do you ever gravel cycle or mountain bike?
I tried mountain, and I decided, I don't know. It's obviously the views are lovely, the forest, but I'm not a fan of dirt and mud. I could not stand that. I mean, I think you've got in America cyclocross as well?
Yeah.
So I did a couple of races because there was a time that I just wanted to try everything, criterium road, cyclocross. I tried cyclocross as well, but I fell over so many times during one of those races. My legs were just covered in bruises. I couldn't clean my bike. And I was just like, no, that's it. No. So I stick to roads. Even, yes,
Cyclocross
it does
is
get muddy.
intense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cyclocross is intense, and mud is your friend with cyclocross for sure.
Yeah, but I could not do it. No. So yeah, road.
So what got you hooked on cycling? What did cycling give you? Was it the community, or was it the feeling you liked physically, the feeling of cycling far, or what was it for you?
I think it's a combination of things, because I used to have like a hybrid bike, so like a bike with flat bars, I guess. And then I got this road bike, and I thought, oh, I can get faster and faster and faster. And then I was able to finally cycle up like a local hill as well that previously I had to walk. So it was kind of getting fit as well, feel the speed. It was pretty awesome. But also the community as well. It was nice to start meeting more people as well. Because I suppose some of my friends were back in London, and I don't think I actually had anyone around where I live in Chelmsford. So now I know pretty much, well, maybe not everyone, but I know majority of people who cycle around here. And then you go on a ride somewhere in the countryside, and then you suddenly say hi, or hi here, hi there. It's so nice to bump into people as well. You're like, oh yeah, I saw you were riding. Yeah, so Strava, hello. So that, and and I think, like I said, now, like, kind of it does give me a new community. I really don't know what I was doing before cycling. I have no idea. Nothing really.
Yeah.
It really is a family. And, I go back to the identity piece. There's something about cycling where you just have to work really hard to get those views, and you have to work really hard to get up that mountain or that hill. And that sense of accomplishment at the end of it all, like, I did this, is just, I've felt nothing like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to ask you about, like, what did your doctors tell you about exercise and cycling? And when you asked, can I race tomorrow? Like, what did they say? What did they say? Not just about racing, but in general about exercise and that sort of thing.
I mean, I don't think they actually knew what to say as well, because I thought maybe when I tell them I'm cycling, they thought, oh yeah, she just cycles, it's recreational or commuting. But then I was like, no, I cycle, I race, I kind of quite competing, like locally or nationwide even. But I didn't really get specific advice. But one thing my neurologist said that I still remember is like, world is your oyster, Paulina. World is your oyster.
I love it.
Okay. And he said, you know what? Because I think when I said I've been really active, really cycling, he said, I think might have partly saved you in a way. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not sure exactly what that meant, but I think he meant essentially to keep being active. But then again, I suppose they're not personal trainers themselves, are they? So I'm not really sure if they can give you proper advice other than stay active. I'm assigned to a local MS nurses as well. But then again, they say as well to be active, but no one can really tell you how active can you be. I think this is all up to you really. I can only tell my coach how I feel. So my coach actually, he's been reading a lot about it and trying to find out as much as possible about multiple sclerosis because he doesn't have anyone else who coaches that has it. So we kind of together, we kind of looking at what's going to work, what we think might not work as well, because at the beginning I couldn't really do much. The first ride I did a couple of weeks after hospital. It was my local 30-minute loop. Normally I would do it in 30 minutes, but the first time from hospital, I did it in 40 minutes. I got home and I was like, oh my God, I have to lie down. I told my husband, I have to lie down. I really don't know. I was like, that was supposed to be my 30-minute loop. I was just so tired. I could not understand. I couldn't breathe. So then I was like, aha, okay. Yes, I guess I will not race anymore this year.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think sometimes, and that's one of the things Justine and I really lean into, is the having to adapt and change things up. And you know what? That 30-minute loop maybe took everything out of you and it took 40 minutes, but there's a lot of people without MS that wouldn't even attempt that loop. Right.
Sure.
And so the fact that you're able to do it, and I will say my neurologist actually is a gravel cyclist and he's all for me cycling. So you keep it up, keep doing your thing. And I think it sounds like that's what your neurologist was saying, is you're putting yourself in a good position, because although I think exercise initially can really impact fatigue and you're so tired. But I think over the long haul, it ends up helping your fatigue more than it hurts it. So I think you're doing the right things. Definitely.
Yeah. And as you've adapted and started cycling again and been dealing with fatigue, have you come up with any adaptations that have helped you manage that? Like taking time to yourself? Are you back at work full time? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I am now, but at the beginning, I was signed off work for about 6 weeks by my doctor, my local doctor. So I think it's a little bit different to US. So here, they can sign you off as well, and I received full pay. But after I returned, I was kind of gradually returning to work. So at the beginning was a few hours a day, and my work were absolutely brilliant, and they let me kind of to finish if I needed to. So I needed to finish at 3 p.m., 2 p.m., just let us know and just sign out. So that's fine. I think at the beginning I was just trying to just see if I can actually cycle. So I didn't have any training plan because I was really tired, and I was tired pretty much every day. But I think with relapses as well, you gradually kind of come back to almost the same level as before. I think there's just certain things I noticed that they stayed with me, sadly. So as an example, I kind of plan ahead. I've decided, I think that's the best way forward now, is just to plan ahead a little bit. So if I know I have a tough week in training, at least I try to do that tough week. If I feel okay, I will do it. But if I feel when I wake up that I already have this headache that I wake up with, and there is some tingling in my face that I sometimes get. And these are the two symptoms that if I get them straight away in the morning, well, I know that's not going to happen today. So I just put a little message in my training peaks and tell my coach, I'm sorry, I can't do it. He's absolutely understanding. So maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And then if I have a longer ride at the weekend, then I try and maybe not to do anything else that day or that weekend.
Yeah.
This, for example, this Friday, I was working full time, so now I'm working full time, mainly from work. So on Friday I was working from work, then I had my session straight after work. So I did it. It was hard session, but I was feeling good. I was like, yeah, I completed it. I'm fine. And then we were meeting friends, and actually our friends both have long COVID, so they absolutely know what unfortunately, what fatigue feels like as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we met for a few hours, but I already knew as well, like this is going to be a heavy day with a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I know on Saturday I'm not going to do anything. I was thinking that maybe I'll go for a ride, but then I was thinking, and it was really windy as well outside, and you both know cycling in the wind is also battling the wind. So even if you
Yes.
want to do an easy ride, you can't do an easy ride, because
No.
if you're going into the headwind, you're just fighting it.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I did my first 100 kilometers, so 62 miles. So it's Gran Fondo, isn't it? That's what you call it.
I
It's Gran
saw
Fondo.
that
Yeah.
on
I love it.
Strava.
Yeah.
I love.
I was so
Yeah.
pleased. So pleased. So I went with a friend. It was part of our Chelma event. I didn't do it with a group. Because I knew that if also when you're in a group, I love being in a group because you chat, but it's also pressure of staying together. You have to go
Yes.
hard on the climbs, and then you don't want to drop. So I thought I'll just do it with one person, just to kind of,
Mm-hmm.
so we keep work together. But then again, I knew that after this ride, because it will be a long ride, 4 hours, I will be tired the next day. So I
Mm-hmm.
did already booked a day off from
Yeah.
work.
I love it.
Because
Yeah.
I just knew I was okay today, but then at some point I was feeling tired, so I had a nap earlier today as well.
Yeah.
But it's just these little things, and it's fine. I was thinking at the beginning as well, like, oh, how am I going to do it? I'm constantly tired. Is it going to be forever? Like, will I be able to train harder? Because at the beginning I was so scared. I was thinking, October, November, I was like, I'm just only going to do like zone 1, zone 2, because I'm scared of sweating, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be already something that will give me fatigue next day. But at some point you're just like, oh, I need to try, like I have to
Mm-hmm.
try, go a little bit more, a little bit harder, because otherwise I'll never get fitter, I'll never kind of get better. I'm not sure. And then I started my DMT as well, so I think that's also working now in my body and sort of helping,
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully helping.
And
I
Paulina, I'll say as well, you were diagnosed in August. Was that right?
Slash, yeah,
You
yeah.
you are still so early on post that like diagnosis and
Yeah.
relapse. And I can just go back to myself, and it take you give your brain and your body a little time, and it's pretty
Mm.
remarkable what it can do. And I remember you mentioned something that resonated with me, that the side of your face gets
Mm.
tingly. And that was one of my first MS relapse. And for the first 6 months to a year, anytime I worked out, I would feel that on the side of my face. And it's gotten to a point where I don't feel it every time I work out. I do feel it when I
Mm-hmm.
really push it hard, and when it's really hot, then I start to feel it. But it took some time for my body to get back there. And so I just think it's so remarkable that you're already doing this months after your
Yeah.
diagnosis. You should really commend yourself. Like that's
Okay.
amazing what you're
Thank you.
doing. You should be so proud.
Yeah. And like so I have to say that the adaptations that you're talking about took me years to learn. And so I think it's really great talking about not
Mm.
overbooking yourself, or when
Mm.
you are really you're packed, when your schedule is really packed, making sure that afterwards there's
Mm.
time for you to take care of yourself and to rest and recuperate. So those kind of those
Mm.
hacks can help a lot, I think. And giving yourself, what is it, David? Grace, you say?
Give
Giving
Oh,
yourself
yourself
yeah.
grace.
grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a really hard time with it, but like being able to like, say I have to take this time because I had a really packed day yesterday is a good thing. And like skipping a workout because you are tired or fatigued is that's a good
Yeah.
adaptation. And like just being patient with yourself. So thank you for sharing all of that. I think
You're
it's
welcome. Yeah.
it's so
No.
amazing that you've already learned that. Like it's taken me a
Mm.
long time.
It's learning,
I
but sometimes I kind of feel like, oh, I wish I could do
well,
this, I wish I could do that, but yeah.
thank you
So
for
Paulina,
speaking
what
to it.
what you're saying is everybody should get a bike, and everybody
Absolutely.
should
Yeah.
Everybody should buy 2 or 3 bikes.
No
So
question.
anybody go out and buy a new bike. So that ride, gosh, 62 miles, that is no joke. That's a ride. And how did you feel? How did you feel during that ride?
Yeah.
How did you feel the next day? I know you took that time off, but was it as bad as you thought, or were you able to cope with it?
Yeah. But in the morning when I woke up, I was feeling a bit like, oh, I think I was telling my husband as well. I was like, Greg, I'm a bit nervous, like on a race day, you get the race day sort of tummy, and you're like, oh, but it's just a club ride. But obviously, because I've not done such a long ride for 10 months, I was looking at a calendar. So last 60 miler I did was, I think, on 15th of June, which was just after my 40th birthday. Not to lie about my boo. Yeah, you can cut that out. No, you don't have to. It's fine. Yeah. So that was my last a century ride. And I was so happy because I thought, oh my gosh, will I ever be able to do long rides as well?
Yeah.
But it was lovely. It was brilliant. I was a little bit scared because I was worried that I'm going too hard, even though if I look at my average power, it's super low. But then I was just worried because it was a very windy day, and I knew it will take a lot of my strength as well from me. But we stopped. Like midway, we stopped in a cafe, so I had a chance to refuel as well. I had a coffee, had something to eat.
Good.
And then also, because I was just with one friend as well, and he was also very understanding. So I asked Joe if do you mind if we stop for a second, and I'll just quickly grab my gel or grab my energy bar or something, just to kind of make sure I don't run out of the energy. Because again, on the first 30 miles we were going into tailwind, but on the way back it was pretty much all headwind. So it was quite tough. And then we got back, and the ride was our club's kind of annual event. It's called 108. So it's like historically you would do 100 miles. We would have to do 100 miles within 8 hours. So obviously on steel bikes or old school bikes, it was kind of tough. And now obviously on carbon bikes, everyone can do it a bit faster. But we had the 100-kilometer option, so I did that. And then when we got back to our club hut, we call it, our club HQ, everyone was there, or a few people already finished, and there were cakes, coffee, chat. So there was about, I think, 60 or 70 of us doing various group rides as well, and all finishing at the club. So it was brilliant, and that was lovely because I've not felt kind of this sort of community for a while, because I've not been riding with my club for months because I was just too scared or too kind of I'm not going to be able to keep up with them, so I'd rather do my own thing.
So wait, was your first time back out with them doing this metric century?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it.
Pretty much. Yeah,
I love it.
I've been cycling here and there with two friends here, two friends there, but I was kind of, seeing everyone, and some of them I've not really seen for months. Also, winter here is, I suppose, where you are as well, you get very cold winters as well. We still try to cycle, but it's not fun, is it?
No, and it can be dangerous too. It's a little slippery,
as well.
And if you're on slicks, it can really put a damper on things. Do you utilize like a trainer, like a Wahoo kicker, or like a bike trainer?
Yeah. So I've got kicker core maybe. And Zwift, and then I recently tried Ruvi as well, which gives you kind of the real life routes, and that was
how
fun
is
because
Ruvi?
so I liked it. Not sponsored or anything, right? I liked it. You always
Not
say
yet.
If they want to, not yet.
I liked it. For example, so every year my club goes to Mallorca in March or February, but March time. And this year I knew, because I'm taking my DMT, I didn't know how I'm going to feel, so I decided this year I will skip it. I'm not going to go. And in February, some of my mates from the club went to Mallorca, and I knew that on Ruvi you've got few routes where you can feel like you're riding in Mallorca. So when they were there in real life, I was joining them in virtual.
I love it. I
So
love that.
cool.
So for that, if you
Yeah.
want to ride on real roads in various places in the world, that was quite fun to like, oh, I recognize this route, I recognize this climb. So that was fun.
Oh, that's great.
Wow. Well, that is such an epic comeback to do that 100K out of the gate, and just be like, you missed me, here I am.
No, it was lovely. It was
Wow.
lovely to see everyone because many of
Yeah.
them already knew, some didn't know. So it's kind of like you have to, like, I appreciate, like you say, I don't have to. And I know not everyone wants to be open about this, but I felt like, well, there's no point hiding.
Yeah.
They knew I was in
Hiding
hospital,
it
and
hiding it can add extra stress. In some ways, not hiding it can alleviate the stress of, is it hidden? Can people tell? Like, just getting it out there is the same way I went. So I get it.
Paulina, I'd be really curious too, knowing that you come from a Polish background, me coming from a Portuguese background. I don't think shame is the right word, but anytime anyone's sick, there's like a silence to it. You don't talk about it. And that's been one of the reasons I've just been like, screw that. I'm just going to shout it from the rooftops because I don't think it's healthy to do that. I think you gotta just lean in and be open about it.
I think that's it. I think that's what I was a little bit scared as well when my mum was crying, and I was like, well, please don't cry. I mean, I'm fine.
David, so I'm not left out. My grandparents are from Italy, so I'm not as recent as you, but third generation.
And way better pasta, right?
Yeah. So would you say that like that is your greatest success so far in coming back, or have you had any? What would you say is your biggest success so far?
No, I think that is. I think so, because I was kind of gradually trying to get to that, and then I thought I should be able to do it, but then you don't know, right? You don't know how you're gonna feel. So that was a little bit worried that I will feel fatigued and I'll have to cancel, and I don't like to cancel. I really don't like to cancel things, especially races or cycling related things. I really don't. I know we mentioned, like, you mentioned DNF, and I did have some DNFs. But I really didn't want to DNF that one.
We've been there.
Embrace the DNF.
But so no, I didn't really want to DNF this one. I was like, or DNS even. Do not start as well.
Didn't start,
So I didn't want that one or DNF. So I thought I'll do it. So I'm very pleased. And next on my agenda, shall we say, will be 100-miler, hopefully. So
cool.
I love it. And do you feel more confident now since your diagnosis that I can do that? It might look a little different, but I got this. Or are you still, feeling it out?
Yeah. I'm hopeful. Maybe not confident, but I am hopeful that I can at least get to. I don't think I will be, how would you say that people come back stronger from a setback or from an injury. I don't think I will get stronger. Maybe if that happens, brilliant. But I would like to get to, if I can, to at least to the level that I used to be, or close enough so I can still be competitive. Because someone asked me recently as well, are you going to be racing next week or in 2 weeks? I thought this would be too early because I would just get disappointed, but I would definitely want to get a bit stronger, and then if it does go to plan, then start racing and see how it goes, and hopefully get some decent results as well. And do you know what, before I forget, I won't name names because for their privacy, but there is another cyclist locally as well who I found out has got MS as well, and she's brilliant. So she's one of my inspirations as well because she's got really good strong results. There is a woman in Australia as well that I connected with. You might already follow her as well on Instagram. And and yeah, and then also locally as well, I know a guy with Parkinson's, and he is also brilliant cyclist, and he's also very inspirational to me. I'm not gonna name them just in
I know
case,
exactly who
obviously,
you're
but
talking about, and
yeah,
I
you know who?
actually,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
the woman in
But do reach out to
Australia,
them,
I'm
please. Maybe
connected.
they will give they will be they might want to talk to you as well. I did mention
Yeah.
at least to my friend to see they, you know, you should talk to them, because it's, you know, it's different disease, but it's very sort of connected and related, and it's doing a lot of good things. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, no, I am hopeful and positive.
So, speaking of that, if someone newly diagnosed with MS or with
Yeah.
another chronic condition like Parkinson's, for example, is listening and they're
Mm,
scared that whether they can write again, and they're
yeah.
asking that question, can I race again? Or they don't, or maybe they aren't. They're wondering, can I be active still? And they're thinking about starting a new sport. What would you tell them?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell them, even though I'm not a doctor, I would tell them definitely to stay active, be active if they can. Yeah, I mean, as I said, like my neurologist said that, you know what, I think cycling might have saved you. So obviously he didn't mean that it just literally saved me, but the fact that I have been active, that probably might have maybe slowed the progression as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I've
Great.
only been active since 2020, so I've already probably had it somewhere in my spine or in my brain before that, because of the things that I told you
Mm-hmm.
about. But maybe since then, because I started gradually, you know, becoming more active. So definitely, if you can, you know, it doesn't have to be cycling. I mean, if you like going to the gym, I need to start going more to the gym, I know. Running, you know, you just doing your run as well, or swimming, or
Yeah.
anything to keep your body moving. And I think whether you go to any of the society website, MS Trust, they all tell you to stay active. So any form of activity. I don't run because I injured my knee a few years ago, and when I walk, I still feel it more than when I cycle. Kind of ignore it when I cycle, probably shouldn't. But but I don't run. Also because after like 20-minute walking, I can start feeling my foot drop a little bit as well. And I know you mentioned now you kind of think about it, and I have been trying
Yeah.
to do what you say as well, but I just I don't think I ever liked running myself. But yeah, stay active, and I think someone as well, everyone, a few other people tell me, just stick to it.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a lot of stuff out there online, as we know. There is a lot of
Yeah.
negative stuff out there, but I'm so glad that I found you guys, because this is, I think I told you at the beginning after listening to your first episode. I appreciate there's a lot of negativity out there, but it's not all bad. I mean, it can
There
be
are silver
good. It
linings.
can, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, there's so many silver linings, like meeting you guys as well. So, yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. To me, cycling with MS isn't and like activity with MS isn't about pretending that nothing
Mm,
changed. It's about learning your body again, but holding on to that hope. And
yeah.
I'm just thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You are
Well,
a
thank you for
real
having me.
Yeah.
inspiration. Yeah, you're a real
Yeah, you
inspiration,
are.
Paulina. To be
Mm.
what, 9 months post diagnosis and crushing it on a 62-mile ride
Oh,
is just really, really amazing. And I know before
I know.
we wrap up, Justine, last week we talked about how you're doing a gravel race in July, and
Yeah.
how my daughter and my wife are lobbying to go to the UK to
Yeah.
go see Harry Styles. Well, fun
Jealous.
fact, Paulina and I were chatting over the weekend, and I'm going to try and connect with her for a bike ride out in the
Cool.
UK. And I think we'll
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
a coffee shop, like, easy ride.
Yeah.
Cafe
I
ride,
got to
Cool.
ask,
definitely, definitely.
what kind of bike you riding, Paulina?
Yeah.
I've got a Factor Ostra.
Oh, that's
I
a nice
think Vam
bike.
Factor Ostra Vam, I think it's called. I don't know. I love it. It's my
Oh,
my
I
my
love
lovely
it. I
bike.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think today's theme is inspiration. You are leaning into your diagnosis. You're understanding that things might look a little different, but you're still getting out on that bike. You're still
Oh
working
yeah.
hard. And I am truly inspired to know you, and so excited to have had you on today. And I can think of nobody better to have been our first guest than Paulina. And
like, it's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and I will say we are building our bro empire, Justine, one by one. And Paulina is our first
will you
new
be
bro.
our bro?
Did I make it?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Hi, bro. Yeah, get ready for lots of hi, bro posts.
Okay.
You're gonna get
like,
bro.
Okay.
You're gonna get broed
You're gonna get
out.
broed.
All the time, all the time. So as a reminder, we're not physicians, we're not nutritionists. So please, if you start any workout regimen or a diet, talk to your physicians, talk to your nutritionists. And as always, follow us on social media. We have Justine at Run with MS. I'm the Foggy Cyclist. We have the adaptive_LiMitS page as well. Paulina, do you want to share your Instagram?
So it's Mosaica, which is Mozajka.
Okay.
I know.
I love it. I love it.
I wondered how
Mosaic.
you said it.
It's
and you'll notice the bike helmet and the bike, glasses, and that's why I was like, all right, yep, we'll connect, we'll be friends. So, Paulina, thanks so much for joining us and for being our newest bro.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.